Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Well, I had an assignment a few days back to cover an anti-ICE protest in my area, and just wanted to touch on that a little bit. Yeah, I know it's politics, but you know what? It's unavoidable now. Things have gotten out of hand with these people. So this was a response to the murder of that young woman in Minneapolis by the ICE agent. Which, you know, the people who support this kind of crap are bending themselves into pretzels trying to justify it. But anybody who has watched the videos knows that she was trying to avoid that officer, turned her wheels, and he shot through the windshield and then shot 2 more times through the side window. So, and if he, you know, was justified, he wouldn't be hiding, because he's hiding. So these protests are going to get more and more frequent and much, much bigger. And this is just a really, really dark time in this country. And I am going to have to be covering that. But what I wanted to get to on this video is reiterate that in the United States of America, you have a constitutional right under the First Amendment to photograph and video law enforcement. Obviously now you're going to have to be a little careful about this because these ICE agents, I've seen videos of them going after people who were in no way interfering with them for recording them. So, you know, I have a press pass. In this area, that probably is going to go a long way to keeping me out of trouble because most of the officers in this area, they actually know who I am. I don't mean ICE officers, I mean local law enforcement. But I just want to talk a little bit about it. If you are in the situation where you're going to be recording an ICE operation, one thing is, I mean, you won't really probably try not to be obvious about it. And if you're on a phone, use the telephoto camera. All phones have them, and probably are going to move you far enough back to avoid any issues. If you have a camera, smaller is better. You know, I photograph things now with this Sigma 20 to 200 millimeter lens, at least stuff that's going on outside where there's enough light for this. Although I do a lot of inside work as well, full frame, you know, high ISO is not really that much of a problem. But, you know, if you have a smaller camera like this Lumix GX9, I mean, you can use like this 45 to 150, which full frame equivalent is 90 to 300 millimeters. You don't have to be real close to get to document stuff. And of course, you're not worried about image quality with this stuff, so don't. But yeah, under our democratic constitutional republic, you have the right to do this. I know some genius is going to say, we're a republic, not a democracy in the comments. Don't bother. That is ridiculous. A republic is a form of representative democracy. No debate about that. So, and I tell you what, if you are saying that we're a constitutional republic and still supporting a guy who's wiping his ass every day with the Constitution, you look stupid. As sort of a channel note, I bought a piece of equipment just recently, and that is this Shure MV6 microphone. It's a gamer and streamer microphone, but it doesn't look kind of ridiculous. And it is a much better microphone than the one I was using for voiceover work, because that thing was around a $50 mic, and if you listen to some of my videos where I do a voiceover, you can tell the difference. Whereas with this, it's like night and day. This thing just sounds great. Wasn't terribly expensive, about $170 from B&H. So this is what I will be using. And I'm going to pop in a real quick example of what it sounds like. And now I'm on the Shure MV6, and you can tell this is, if you've listened to previous videos where I do this, this is much better. This is a still from my assignment photographing the recent protest, and I will put a link to the story down in the description, so check it out down there. On a more relaxing note, About a week ago, I went to a DuPage County Forest Reserve. DuPage County is the county west of Cook County, and it's a forest reserve called Waterfall Glen, and it's kind of interesting. It surrounds Argonne National Laboratory, a place that I used to visit fairly frequently when I sold certain digital imaging systems. But it's interesting because it's actually, there is a waterfall in Waterfall Glen. It's artificial. It's a check dam that was built by the Civilian Conservation Corps in the 1930s, but they made it look very natural. And many years ago, I actually photographed a mink at the base of the waterfall. So what I did was I took the Lumix S5 Mark II and the Sigma 20 to 200 millimeter lens, and I shot video. And I am not by no means an excellent videographer. I will tell you one thing that I learned while doing this is that, you know, in the S5 Mark II and the G9 and probably most cameras, you can set in the audio, in the microphone section, you can set a loudness limiter. All right, so this is an automatic sensor of the sound. And I learned, yeah, for this sort of thing where you're just talking into a microphone, that's going to work fine. But when you're out doing video out in nature, when I got to the waterfall, of course, the sound level went up greatly. And while I was videoing, and I had to cut the clips in this video I'll be showing kind of short, it would start off with the sound level, you know, fairly high, and then it would decrease as the clip went on because it was automatically lowering the sound level. You generally are not going to want to have that happen, so just beware that that's something that happened. I had that set, and now I know to turn that off in those situations. Anyway, enough of this talky part. Here's a little video. It's about a little under 3 minutes, so relax. Listen to the sights and sounds of this little creek called Sawmill Creek. It actually flows down a pretty steep gradient, which is why it flows so nicely. Take your mind off of things, relax. I'm Todd Banner. I will see you next time.